Live with Paul, Tony, and Marky C.
How you guys doing?
Good morning. What's going on? Sorry you had to stay on hold so long, pal. We're trying to get through this as quickly as we can.
Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, I have two questions. My first is I have to pick two running backs from the following three. I have William Lake, D'Angelo Williams, and Deuce McAllister. And then I also want to get your take on Matt Jones or Anthony Gonzalez this week.
Okay, that was Matt Jones and Anthony Gonzalez?
Yeah, that was my second question.
Okay, yep, I like Jones in that matchup. And then you said White, McAllister, and who was the third one?
D'Angelo Williams.
All right, I like Williams and I like McAllister this week. So there you go. I like McAllister, Williams, and Jones. Who you got there, Marky C?
I agree with you, Paul. I think Matt Jones has a great matchup against Detroit, and he's a guy that you have to play regardless of Anthony Gonzalez's 2 touchdowns last week at the running back position. It's tough to sit Lendale White because he is a touchdown machine, but the Chicago Bears are allowing just 81 yards per game against the rush.
Tony, what you got?
You guys hit it on the head. It's a good option at running backs, but I got to sit Lendale White. And Matt Jones, he's definitely getting it done. He's the only receiver in Jacksonville.
There you go, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
I appreciate you staying on hold. Have a fantastic fantasy football Sunday, my friend. We go right back to the phone line, guys. From the 508 area code, you're on Fantasy Gridiron Live with Paul, Tony, and Marky C.
Good morning, fellas. 2 questions. First question, one of these 3 wide receivers, Plaxico, Bo, or Calvin Johnson. It's not a PPR. And the second question is, which quarterback? Trent Edwards, Gus Frerotte, or Matt Castle?
Okay, you said Calvin Johnson. Who's the third wide receiver?
Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe. I'll tell you what, Calvin Johnson got a touchdown in his last 4 games. Calvin Johnson, that's a tough one. Like I said, I like Plax in this matchup. Again, Plax on the big stage playing against Philadelphia. I think he shows up as he does seemingly every time the cameras are on him. As far as the quarterback situation, I'm going to go with Trent Edwards here. Again, it's a tough matchup. I think he has the best weapons. Although Gus Frerotte to me is an intriguing matchup. Really, I've said it since the beginning of the season. I like double B's and not burying. So to me, it comes down to Edwards and Frerotte. Who do you got there, Marky C?
At the wide receiver position, I like Calvin Johnson. He has scored in 4 straight games, and the Jaguars give up 220 yards per game, and they've allowed 14 passing touchdowns this year. Quarterback gets a lot tougher. You have 3 guys that are pretty much similar in my projected points this week. I think Trent Edwards is the safest pick of the bunch, and I'm going to take that route when all is equal. I think, like I said, he's usually a 200-yard per week guy with a touchdown. I think he's going to do that against New England this week.
Tony, what about you?
He got a new quarterback in Detroit. I would tell him just look for Calvin Johnson there. I just think he gets more opportunities. It would not surprise me if Burris gets into the end zone. And then we're definitely going to go with Edwards. Like you said, a safer choice. Definitely, we want the safe choice this week as we don't want to get a 3 or 4 point week that will kill you at the quarterback position. Go with Edwards.
There you go.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, man. Have a fantastic fantasy football Sunday. We go right back to the phone lines, guys. From the 707 area code, you're on Fantasy Gridiron Live with Paul, Tony, and Marky C.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, my brother, man?
Not much. I got the same dilemma every week. I'm starting 3 receivers. I got 3 studs. I got Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, and Larry Fitzgerald. And my question is do I sit one of them to put in a Colston or a Matt Jones this week?
I'd say no. Well, when I take a look, I really like Colston this week. Again, all the reports coming out is that this guy is healthy, he's ready to go, but he still hasn't shown it since coming back from the injury. Again, he was sluggish in London. May have been the trip over there, may have been a combination of things, but coming off the bye, Colston looks, from all the reports, again, this week coming out of practices, I think looks good. I like the 3 that you have. What do you got there, Marky C?
Yeah, I agree with you. You can't sit a guy like Calvin Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald who are consistent every week, and even Randy Moss. No, he hasn't been the consistent option he was last year, but he has better statistics and he's had some better games than Colston. Go with those guys until Colston gets healthy and has a good game, and then next week let's see what happens.
Tony?
Yeah, definitely go with go in that matchup. If you're going for Colston, you're hoping instead of playing the percentages. So definitely stick with Calvin Johnson and the group you got.
Hey, how about some sleepers for kickers this week?
Sleepers. My sleeper kicker this week is none other than Jay Feely of the New York Jets. have as my sleeper this week. What about you, Tony? You got anybody?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going in Atlanta. I'm going with the former Denver kicker to absolutely Jason Elam as I look for the Falcons to be able to move the ball on the Saints.
There you go. There's a couple that you could choose from, pal.
Thanks, guys, huh?
All right, man. Have a fantastic fantasy football. Go right back to the phone lines from the 312 area code. You are on Fantasy Gridiron Live with Paul from ABC.
How you doing?
It's good, man. What's going on, man? Talk to me.
Chilling, getting ready for fantasy football. Got a running back question, actually.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've got Westbrook, Maurice Jones-Drew, and D'Angelo Williams. I'm thinking about, I know it's crazy, I'm thinking about staying Westbrook again.
So are you starting 2 out of these 3, or what's the deal?
Two, yeah.
I do not, I'll be honest, I do not sit Westbrook at all. Westbrook's had 2 games against the Giants. I would not sit him. And I would not sit MJD either. I like MJD in the matchup. D'Angelo Williams is going to have a decent day. In my opinion, probably get a lot in the second half, but from a touchdown standpoint, I like Westbrook and MJD. What about you, Tony Sincata?
You know, I'm going to go with Westbrook and D'Angelo Williams. You know, I think Stewart doesn't play that much, if he plays at all, and I look for Carolina to really run this ball up. And like I said, this game will be over at halftime, so I look for D'Angelo Williams there. MJD's had trouble with the Jacksonville offensive line. I know they're playing the Lions, so it is enticing, but that offensive line is an issue in Jacksonville.
Mark, what about you?
You know, Westbrook's one of the guys, it doesn't matter who the matchup is, you don't sit him. He's a dual threat. He can beat you both ways, and he's going to get the job done even against a tough Giants defense. I'm going to have to go with Paul on this one. I like Maurice Jones-Drew this week. I know he's failed his owners a couple times this year, but the matchup is too sweet to pass up. He scored last week, and I think he's the safer play to find pay dirt.
There you go.
So that's 2 for MJD and 1 for D'Angelo?
Yep. We like it, Westbrook and MJD.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you this then, because I was going to play Jake Delhomme, the quarterback, but I also got Brett Favre. What do you think Brett Favre is going to throw some interceptions today, or is he going to...
It's pretty much freaking guaranteed, and I hate to say it, but, you know, the Kansas City defense at times has showed up. The Rams defense has showed up at times. We see what the Rams defense has done against guys like Washington, the Cowboys. So it's pretty much guaranteed that Favre's going to at least have 1, if not 2. But, again, I like Jake Delhomme this week. I think the matchup favors him. D'Angelo Williams is out. There's really nothing going on in Oakland. So, you know what, if it's me, and I'm like huge, as you can tell, I'm kissing my jersey right now. I love Brett Favre, but from a fantasy standpoint, I can't be a homer here, and I have to go with Jake Delhomme.
All right, gotcha.
All right? Yeah, man, have a great...
I'm going to keep listening.
All right, well, appreciate the phone call, pal. We'll check in with you next week. Have a fantastic fantasy football Sunday. All right, guys, the next 15 minutes, pals, we're about to nail it out. We're going to start off with the Oh No You Didn't segment where we give you our bust for this week. We'll go right into sleepers and then our top picks for week 10. So here we go with the Oh No You Didn't segment. Oh, no.